In this video, I'm just going to show you some tips to replace the things that are bent on your machine that got damaged in shipping. So if you notice here, I have this carousel bottom. I don't have the full carousel, just so you can see. You're going to remove the nylock nut, which is a 15/16 socket. So you can use a crescent wrench or a socket to remove that. So once you have it removed, you'll be able to pull your carousel off, but notate this bearing here. So see how it's upside down. You would think it would go like this in the plate, but it actually uses this shoulder here and goes in. So when you're putting your new one back together on your last phase, make sure you orientate that right. A lot of customers will accidentally have that flipped upside down, so make sure that it's going this way when you put everything back. So you're going to take that off. You would take your plate off, your carousel. Now this gives you access to all the bolts that you're going to need to take this top plate off. So you've got two bolts here that are going to take Allens to undo them. So use your Allen wrench to undo these two, and then you'll have an Allen wrench to undo this set collar right here. And so when you loosen that one, this set collar will just slide up and off. If you find that it's tough, you can wedge a couple of screwdrivers under each side of this and pop it up if it becomes a problem, or just grab it with a pair of pliers and wiggle it up, pulling straight up on it. So once you undo those bolts and this bolt, everything would be loose at that point, and now you have your ratcheting arm here, which can just pop through. So I can just push that down, and that will be out of our way for when you take this top plate off. You should be able to just leave this how it is, because we're not going to be undoing this back plate here. So you should be able to just leave this how it is on it. And then when you pull this off, you will notice there's these two springs that attach to the plate to that arm. And so once you lift this up, you'll be able to access these two bolts fairly easily. And it takes a 3/8 wrench to undo those two nuts. So undo those two nuts, then just push these springs off. And now this arm will be completely free from the top plate itself. So then after you do that step, you would move on to the throwing arm. And to remove the throwing arm, all you'll need to do is undo this nut here, which takes a 1/2" wrench. Undoing that will open up this split in this pinch block. You will also need to undo this bolt here, which is a 7/16. Actually undo that one first, then do this one, because that'll take pressure off of that split. Oh, whoops, am I looking at that right? Yeah. It's so tightened it looks like it's all together. So you'll undo this nut here first, then undo this big bolt with a 1/2" wrench or socket. A socket will be a lot better to do. Socket with an extension, coming over here and undoing it. And then you can't see it, but there's a split right here, which once you undo that big one, it will then relax around the main shaft, and then you should be able to pry this up. You can get under it with two hands and just kind of wiggle it back and forth and have it rise up. Before you do that, make sure you notice your spacer here so you don't lose it, come flying off. So don't lose your spacer. This bottom one underneath it should just stay, and you'll keep that on there for your new throwing arm. There's a key that will go in the pinch block. You will see on the shaft that it is keyed, and so when you're pulling that arm off, don't lose that key as well. I don't know if they supplied you an extra one, but just notate there's going to be a a small key that goes in this shaft, and it's in this aluminum block. So once you start lifting that up, it could stay on the shaft or it can come off with the pinch block. So just be on the lookout for that key once you take that off. After that, you're just going to reverse the steps. So after that, you can put the new throwing arm on with block, because this will be just laid over out of your way, and you can put that all back, the new block, and then remember to make sure your bolts are tightened. And this is reverse order, so you will tighten this bolt first that pinches it, then you will tighten that top one. If you tighten the top one first and then tighten this one, it will not pinch it tight around the shaft. So don't forget that when you're replacing the new arm, when you go to tighten it, tighten the big one first, then tighten the top one. So after you do that, now we can completely discard your bent top plate. You will need to undo the wiring of it. So to do that, it's pretty easy. You're just going to undo these two nuts here. Once you undo those two, you will lift this plate off. There is two nuts under this plate that's holding on the micro switch. So then you will, you can just leave that because it's probably damaged, and assuming that they sent a new switch on your plate. So there's two eyelets on this side. Note your orientation when you're putting them back. So you will undo the two terminals that are in here. I don't know if you can see that, but you have your two wires that go to the switch. Notate where they're at, the black and the white on the switch. You will loosen those two wires, the bolts that are holding the wires, and then you will have this free, and then you're just going to weave this through these eyelets and then through this hole, and then there's another eyelet at the bottom in the back over here. You'll weave it through all of those points, and then now you will take your new plate, and then you will start by weaving that back in through all the new plates, wire holders, and then you will set your plate back on, and then wire up your switch, put your switch cover back on, and then we can start tightening bolts. So then you can tighten these. I would just, when you get to this point on your set collar, just get it snug. Don't get it tight. Just do it a little snug, because we're going to have to go through and set the timing of our throwing arm. So we want to get it in the correct position. So we don't need you to tighten it right away, because we're going to have you do some steps to put the arm in the right position, then orientate the set collar where it needs to be. Then you will tighten it firmly at that point, which we have other videos on that, on setting the timing of the arm. So once you get that back mounted, you're wired through, that's all together, this is just snug, then you can take your arm and pop it back in there, and then you will take your carousel and put it over, and then notating the bearing on it, making sure that it's upside right, and then put on your carousel, and then retightening it. When you're tightening your carousel back, make sure everything's aligned. You will be under these rollers. Don't try to tighten it if they're on top. Make sure the fins are underneath the rollers. Then just start tightening it with your ratchet. And then your tension for it is, you want it slight friction. You don't want it to like spin like the Wheel of Fortune or anything. You want to have it where if you try to spin it like that, it just doesn't want to go a lot. It's just like maybe one or two clicks off of this. So some tension, but not tight. So hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. Okay. So one thing I need to mention is this bracket right here. Your plate should have this on it. if it doesn't have this bracket on it that's holding your cable, you'll need to undo these two bolts. It takes a Phillips head and a 3/8 wrench to undo it. And then if it's not on there, you just undo those bolts and then mount this back. You won't need to mess with this, loosening it. You can just bolt this back onto that plate. If this bracket is on that plate, then you can just notate where your threads are at. So on this one, I've got like 3-4 threads showing. So I would notate that, loosen this nut here, loosen this nut, and then you'll loosen it all the way till it comes off onto this cable. And then you can pull back on this cable, and there's a little slot here that wire will slide out through, and then it will be free from this plate. Then when you put your new plate on and it has that bracket, you'll just slide the cable through the slot, and then put the shaft of it through the hole, and then you'll go to where you notated how many threads you had sticking out, and then just go ahead and tighten from this back side, and then tighten it from this back side. So that's how you would set that one. Then also don't forget to spring your springs on the new trap with the 1032 bolts sticking down here. Again, 3/8 wrench to tighten these Nylox nuts on there. Then after that, we'll have you cycle the machine, making sure that it's traveling in the correct distance around, and that's all adjustable with this place here. It may have gotten off if you put it on, and it could be a little different. So we'll just make sure once we're running it, testing it, firing it without any clays in it, how far our carousel is going past the hole. If it's not going far enough, we'll have you adjust this out where it has more threads showing, and then that will fix it where it'll rotate the carousel further. So other than that, give us a call if you have any questions.